Hey everybody, Matt Morgan here. In this video, we're going to talk about how to use the Wiley homework interface. We'll talk about the benefits and consequences of online learning, how to input chemical equations, scientific notation and how to do that in the Wiley interface, and finally, chemical names. Online learning is great because it is so flexible. You can engage with the course material in many different locations at any time you like. You can schedule your schoolwork around your life rather than schedule your life around your schoolwork. Best of all, you have access to the course instructors that can answer your questions at many times. You can schedule appointments with them, you can send emails, and they'll get back to you right away. That's true at Western Governors, at least. Online learning might not be so great because online homework as a whole, still a work in progress. Not bad, but not really what it could be. Also, there's a reliance on technology. If the internet is down or your computer's not working, you won't be able to access the course materials. Finally, some online systems, like ours, require a bit of a learning curve, so you know how to engage with the material. The feedback is immediate, but it isn't always helpful. For example, you get this problem wrong, it doesn't tell you why. But there is help. You can take 2 steps that will increase the usefulness of the online homework significantly. First, give yourself plenty of time to work problems. Don't be in a rush. And second, become comfortable with the interface. More important, if you have questions, contact your course instructors. The feedback isn't great, but we can be your feedback. Now, until we get artificial intelligence that works and incorporates itself into our online homework, it's good to have the extra help from your course instructors. So this system is used by students all over the country, used in many different kinds of chemistry courses. I've taught for a long time. Yes, there are probably better homework systems, but there are many that are a lot worse. This online homework system is functional. It will allow you to be successful in chemistry. Now, an important point is that at Western Governors University, our homework is not graded. Theoretically, you could pass the course if you know the concepts without doing a single homework problem. But the homework is your best bet to becoming successful because the correlation between how people do on assessments and the amount of homework that they do is extremely close. On the left is a list of all of the topics that are on the assessments. On the right are the topics in the Wiley homework. If you spend a couple minutes looking, you will see they are exact. The questions are not the same, but the concepts are. The more problems you work, the better you will do on assessments. So at some point, you will need to write chemical equations. All the assessments are multiple choice, but it's good to learn different ways to solve chemistry problems. And this chemistry input palette is pretty good. Of course, you have to know how to use it. First, open up the editor by clicking on the green edit button if you're given a problem that requires you to input a chemical equation. When the palette pops up, you can type letters and numbers from your computer keyboard. Looking at this question as an example, they want sodium azide, NaN3. If I type in NaN3, that 3 will automatically appear as a subscript. So I just go capital N, small a, capital N, and a 3. And here's what pops up. Pretty nice. I don't have to specify that there's a subscript. We want to make that sodium azide a solid, click on the S button. We see aqueous, gas, liquid, and solid. If you click on that button, it designates the phase. So for this reaction, we'll do a single arrow. The double arrows are used in Chem 2. I'll click on the single arrow button. Now I will type in the products. The products are solid sodium nitride and nitrogen gas. Okay, I have to know what sodium nitride is, but that's the chemistry part of this. We're just working on the interface. NaN3N, click on solid, type in plus, you don't need to put in a space. N2, the subscript automatically occurs, click on the G. Now we don't want to click on submit our answer yet because the equation isn't balanced. So I do all my balancing, do all the chemistry stuff necessary for that. To put my coefficients in, click right before the reactant or product where I want to put the number in, and then just type the numbers in. Numbers that come before will not be subscripts. They will be coefficients. I balance my chemical equation. I type in my coefficients. Now I click on Submit Answer. And I get the green frame of victory. That answer is correct. Other buttons that you will use on the input palette are probably undo, erase, and superscript. If you have to do charges for ions, you will use the superscript button. That's the chemistry input palette. Spend some time with that and you will become comfortable with it. Next, let's talk about scientific notation. Some of the numerical answers are really, really big or really, really small. So you have to use scientific notation. The entry boxes for those answers do not have a times, do not have a 10 to the x. So what you'll do is use a letter E between the measured value and the exponent. If we have a big number like 381600, we can put 3.816 E5. That E5 is like times 10 to the fifth. And many calculators use this notation as well. Small numbers will have a negative sign after the E. 3.45 times 10 to the negative sixth is 3.45 E minus 6. Next, let's talk about inputting chemical names. Wiley Plus has some strict requirements regarding writing these names, and those requirements reflect the conventions used in chemical naming. The first rule is that chemical names are not capitalized. If you capitalize ammonium carbonate, that will mark it wrong. You have to use lowercase. Chemical names are just like normal nouns, like car or cat. Also, if you use the stock method for naming transition metals, do not put a space between the cation name and the Roman numeral. If you write tin-4 sulfide this way, Wiley's going to mark it wrong. However, no space between the tin and the Roman numeral, you'll get it correct. Finally, spelling counts. If you spell the name incorrectly, they'll mark it wrong. Correct spelling will get you the correct answer. And that attention to detail is important. You might think, oh, well, the assessments are multiple choice, but some of those distractor answers are pretty tempting. Attention to detail learned in this by doing the Wiley homework will pay off when you do the assessments. Final formatting note. Spend some time making sure your formatting is correct. You put a lot of effort into a problem, it will be disappointing to get it wrong just for a formatting error. Now, Wiley doesn't distinguish between an answer that is conceptually wrong and an answer that has incorrect formatting. Also, for numerical problems, if you have incorrect formatting but the right number, you will get a different set of numbers and do the problem again. For practice, that's okay. But if your goal is to finish the homework problem, it might be a little frustrating. So know how Wiley wants its answers, and all you'll have to worry about is understanding the chemistry. So we discussed the chemical equation editor, the input palette, and how to format your answers. As you spend more time doing homework, putting time on task, it will become easier and all you'll have to think about is the chemistry. If you have any questions or problems, your course mentors will be glad to help you out. A final note that I will say, whether you're using Wiley or one of the new slicker homework interfaces, you still will have to put some time into the course. There is no substitute for time on task to enable your concept mastery. So here's our contact information if you want to contact a course instructor. Individual course instructor information is available in your course of study. I look forward to talking to you.